My name is Ashlyn Reel, and this is my final presentation on my problem and solution essay. For the problem and solution essay, I chose some topics concerning prison reform, two of the topics being overcrowding and harsh mistreatment, which are common themes inside facilities. Just an overview of the solutions. The solutions lie in reducing mass incarceration and reincarceration and providing stricter regulations to prevent the abuse that prisoners currently experience. The first problem I'm going to be addressing is overcrowding. Overcrowding is a huge safety threat for prisoners. It also limits any other type of resources that are already limited in prisons. The lack of privacy worsens conditions for all incarcerated people, especially mentally ill inmates. And since research shows that about half of inmates in state prisons have mental illness, this can be a huge safety threat because of if somebody who is mentally ill is triggered by the overcrowding and a bunch of people around them, this can be dangerous. With this being said, it leads to an increase in violence among prisoners. It also allows a lot of illegal activity because of the lack of monitoring. You can't really monitor what's going on in the inside if there's way too many people. Um, the consequences of overcrowding are endless and threaten basic human rights for inmates ultimately. The next problem that I'm going to be addressing is the mistreatment that inmates experience while in prison. Sexual abuse from prison staff is at high rates inside women's prisons, and a lot of abusers who are prison staff often silence their victims with threats of privileges or even solitary confinement. Um, Sexual assault victims in prisons are subject to sexually transmitted diseases and physical harm. Not to mention, transgender people in prisons are often victims of sexual assault. Um, Verbal abuse, like mocking and denying of personal rights, is also very common for all people inside prisons and these facilities. A study involved 7,000 prisoners in 12 different state prisons showed that 21% of physical assault was reported from prison staff. And again, I say a lot of abusers who are prison staff often silence their victims with these threats. Just because they can, it goes overlooked. My first solution is implementing and pushing more drug treatment courts. Because of the amount of nonviolent drug offenders that are incarcerated right now, nonviolent offenders that are charged for drugs can be sent to rehabilitation centers instead of these lengthy sentences. This can save money and lower costs for prisons. This can allow funding in prisons can go to the treatment and save many lives instead of doing harm. Another solution for overcrowdings is reducing mass incarceration. Mass incarceration has been going on, especially in America, since the beginning of time, and all it does is just kind of put a damper economically on the country. Again, I say with the alternatives, an alternative to imprisonment can be used for people with mental health issues, mothers, and minors. And these solutions go along with the mistreatment. Implementing the regulations that prisons already have is a solution to the mistreatment that inmates endure. Reopening cases for inmates to receive justice, holding prison staff accountable, allowing prisoners to have easier access to reporting their abuse. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope you saw that I made efforts to just kind of fix a few problems that we were having with my original essay. And thank you so much.